Much love and many blessings. I was heading out the door and I decided, fuck it. I'm actually going to drop a quick message because we are heading into this Pisces season, and a lot of my thoughts have been centered around the masculine collective lately, as far as just recently and what we're heading into with this Pisces season. And a lot of that's predicated off of the fact that with my readings, both personal and with my clients, there's been a lot coming up as far as with the Magician, Judgment, Temperance, just a lot of those elements, but more specifically, the theme of harmony and connection has been experiencing the Magician come up constantly. Constantly. And it's been a much, either a reversal or not reversal, but it's really bringing on this sensation of self-gratification or self-serving needs, or just using energy for one's own personal desires and intentions, even if the motivation for what's motivating these connections is a person treating you nice. So what really seems to be taking place, and I don't want to go into great detail about this because this is really a lot of the energy surrounding the Pisces season, but what really seems to be taking place for just the masculine, the divine masculine in the collective, and this is both for genders as well as the placement within our energy centers, there seems to be this heavy purge taking place. So what you might be noticing during this time is that a lot of us, the men in the collective, seem to be having some very selfish needs right now. We might even have some very toxic tendencies, whether intentional or not. They could be coming up from insecurities within our energy center, things that we may not be aware of that are coming to the forefront of our psyche. And a lot of the women, or just the people around the men or the divine masculine collective, may be looking at these ego indulgences that are coming forth. Like, why does it seem like the overall monolith of men during this time or during the season is becoming very trash or very weighted? And the roles imposed on just the nurturers, both men and women, or just people who are very in tune with their divine feminine energies during this time, don't really seem to be having a lot of patience for taking care of these typical needs. It's almost as if like you've been so used to doing this nurturing, healing thing, or just thrust into this gender role or whatever that dynamic is for you, that you're kind of tired of it because it's become expected, it's become unsung. It's kind of like, okay, well, I'm home, where's the dinner? And it's like, well, is this just because you just assume that this is going to be the case? So overall, across the board, there seems to be a lot of just really being fed up with it, not, especially because we just wrapped up this Mercury retrograde. It kind of feels like it was a list of things that we didn't know about that we pulled out, and now it's like you got all of this shit, all of these things that you need addressing for, and I don't know if I want to take the time to be that mother figure, that nurturer, or that person that tells you that all of this stuff is going to be okay. Kind of piggybacking off of that as well, it really brings me to the anatomy of our energy centers and how between men and women have a masculine heart and men have a feminine heart within our chakra energy center. So thinking about the shift and the purging taking place in the divine masculine within the women in the collective, you may be looking at your significance, male friends, male family members, this across the board, and really just don't feel the same drive or obligation to cater to these needs because it feels too much like a weight. We're really wrapping up the Aquarius season as we move into Pisces season, and that theme and that motivation, not motivation, but momentum of essentially dropping things off and not letting energy weights really bog you down, because there is this big sign. And it's been some, hey, I'm really not changing how I feel or compromise. Aquarius is a sign that doesn't really compromise. It's a sign of radically sticking to one's goals. So with that, we've been feeling that energy, and you may even be still feeling a residual of that. And those normal roles that you're used to or have been placed upon you, whether it's through motherhood, whether it's just through having codependence, friends, family, fucking pets, anything where something is dependent on you, it's kind of like we're tired of that across the board because the weight has been so much that we just want to shift, we want to change. So I want to drop some quick knowledge to kind of leave you with. I will be dropping the Pisces insights this week, most likely no later than tomorrow, or at least by the weekend I'll start that transitioning, so just stay tuned for those updates. But for right now, I definitely want to just drop this message for the Divine Masculine and just the things that have been surrounding the masculine collective, and how we can heal, how we can get that sacred nurturing during this time, and how we can really just open ourselves up to making sure that we're honoring ourselves, or we're actually nurturing when things actually do need to be nurtured and carried out. Okay, so definitely have the health checkups here. Being a theme with everything that we're talking about as far as making sure that we're getting that nurturing need. This is time to make sure that we're calling upon the ones that actually satisfy those roles for us. You may be feeling like the doctor, or just feeling the need to actually get a checkup. This is also, with this wisdom, is also letting you know to get health checkups across the board. I've been seeing things online, especially with all the scares and wanting protection, that sometimes, we'll go seek alternative remedies, alternative medicines, things of that nature, and that's perfectly fine. We need to put more power back into that, because we've been relying too much on just the medical industry, or their set standards on what health actually is. And sometimes that leads us to believe that health is purely just physical. But we got to make sure that we're healthy in our energy field, healthy in our emotional field, healthy in our physical field, healthy in our finances, healthy across the board, whole body healthiness. So in all the areas in which you may need to consult, whether it's with yourself or with somebody that has this knowledge, you need to be making those consultations. But also you have to know when to acknowledge that, one, you need help, and two, you have to listen to the person that's actually providing the aid. Some of the people that you've been going to may be feeling like you're burnt out because the people that you're helping don't listen to what it is that you have to say. It's like going to the doctor and they're telling you, hey, you got diabetes or all this other health complication shit because of the way you're fucking eating. And then you're kind of like, okay, well, I'm just going to take this medicine, or I'm just going to do these whole ass insulin shots. But you're not changing your diet. So that shit gets draining. That shit gets very draining, because it makes you feel like that your information is not being utilized, but you keep having to set up these appointments for this person who keeps coming back to you with these symptoms. So that gets old. This is also a call on both ends of the spectrum. One, if you are the person that gives the checkups out and gives out this good advice and this healing energy, both through awareness and through actually laying hands to align the situation, then you need to cater to the patients. You need to cater to the people in your space that actually appreciate it and will benefit most from it. It's kind of like those times when you start to run down on resources, the doctor may not be able to take as many patients. So you got to cater to the ones that really need it. If you're on the other end of the spectrum and you're seeking help, then it's time for you to appreciate the help, because help is getting very limited during this time. It's also a call that you may even need to get real or be honest about your own health needs, as well as seeking help when it's necessary to do it. Okay, connecting the spirit for clarity and a universal love message, one that is free of bias, and it just simply gets past the layers of the ego, down beneath the layers of the insecurities, the layers of what we feel that the answer is supposed to be, and just past all those insecurities, past all those ego bubbles, past all those layers of the third dimension, so we can get past to the deeper part of just the essence of truth. What is the message that we are really building upon, and how can we enhance this even more so that we can walk in our truth? How can we take this energy and actually apply it to our own personal space, and what can we meditate on? Okay, so like I said, we have personal checkups and we have the Two of Coins. So this is dealing with these indecisions or figuring out what it is that you're juggling. So this is also an energy of you being in your head, because there is an inaction or there is useless energy. You might be taking actions just simply because you feel like you should do something. And when we're doing things predicated off of misalignment or needing to check up on things, you might be telling yourself you're okay when you're actually not. But that burden falls on other people when you don't listen to your doctor, when you don't listen to the people who give you sound, healthy advice. It falls back on you. You may get into things that you're not even necessarily supposed to get into, that you don't want to, for lack of a better word, what's coming to my mind is commit. You may be dipping and dabbing. And some of the energies you may be picking up on may be because you may be trying to satisfy some sense of enjoyment or longing. But that longing might be superficial. It might be a shallow contentment, whereas it's just satisfying some immediate thing and ultimately the energy that you're putting in is not worth the investment. It's like going to the strip club and you're paying $50 for the booth, $20 at the fucking to get in the door, and fucking, you know what, then they bring some whole ass bread and shit to your table. You spend $70, you ain't even got a lap dance or even tasted a crumb of food yet. But yeah, you're gonna have fun, but the upcharge of what it requires is not worth the investment. It's a misuse of the energy, and it leaves you depleted. It leaves you without something that's very important to you. And it's essentially the equivalent of taking medicine or taking a pill, and you're trying to treat a headache, but the side effects give you diarrhea, can cause fatal, damn near can cause risk of death. It's like, what the fuck am I taking the shit for if the side effects are worse than what I'm doing it for? Why am I involved in this thing if what's coming out of it is causing more symptoms or side effects that are worse than what it is that I'm actually doing? So I actually feel like I'm juggling, because this is a juggling energy. So with this Pisces season, we're going to have to get real, and I'm going to delve into this more as I go through the signs throughout this week or later on tomorrow. We'll see how time permits. As we go through this cycle, and with this wisdom that Spirit is leaving us with, what it's letting us know is that we're juggling things that we shouldn't necessarily be juggling, and we have to take account of what are we getting along with the energies that we put in, and are we actually being real and honest about the help and the care that we need for ourselves and what burdens we're putting on others. So as we get ready to head into this Pisces season, let's take account of this watery energy, this Neptune energy, this containerless energy that creates these illusions that allows us to manifest our spirituality into actuality. What can we do to align ourselves? As we take our divine breath, how are we incorporating our actions and our beliefs into what it is that we're putting our energy into, and what are we getting back from that? Are these two energies matching one another, and is it actually healthy for us? All right, guys, much love and many blessings. That was my quick wisdom from Lotus. I'm about to get out of here, make a couple runs. Definitely drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I look forward to you guys just checking out my content. I really want to drop the first 3 signs of the zodiac tomorrow. I had to get my thoughts right, but most likely once I get that going, depending on how moving and boxing and packing up all permits, you'll be seeing the rest of the zodiac signs on my channel, The Lotus Speaks. So much love, many blessings, and have a wonderful day.